Week number 3 coming up here Friday night. West Branch traveling down to West Burlington. Notre Dame coming off of a 41-13 win, Jason, over West Liberty at the Little Rose Bowl. And it was a game that, despite the heat, the Bears really put a lot of things together. A couple of big plays offensively, take maybe 2 plays away from West Liberty defensively, and the Bears really shut things down. Great second week here for this West Branch team.
It was. One turnover early. Outside of that, the Bears scored on 5 of their first 7 offensive. But take away the first possession, which we didn't score, they scored basically on the next 5 possessions. If you take control of the ball, it's just an old football adage. Keep control of the ball, cut down the penalties. You're probably going to do well. And they did, and they got ahead 35-0, and then got up. Took the offense, got 1 possession, went in the third quarter, and then they stepped out, and then the next guy stepped right in, and they scored. The final score 41-13. But the next guy's in. They got the last touchdown. Brandon Rummelhart, a 4-yard scamper right up the middle. Yep. So it was good to see.
It was great to see, and a good building block going into the next non-district competition here tonight. We get to travel down to West Burlington, Notre Dame. A long bus ride and a very talented opponent here this evening.
Man, if you listened last year to Matt and my podcast, and probably to Quinn in the Bearcast pregame, you can think of one word, and that's speed. This team has a lot of it. You'll hear Coach Peterson talk about that, I'm sure, when you interview him before the game. He's going to talk about how fast this team is. I mean, last year they put up the most points in the history of the state track meet. They returned the majority of those kids on offense. They lose Brant Reed, who last year had 2,700 and some odd yards of total offense. Basically 72% of their total offense went through him. His father is our activities director in West Branch. You would think that would slow them down, literally slow them down a little bit. No, Spencer Ferguson steps in at quarterback in the first game, throws for 100, rushes for over 200. Isaiah Trousel, who was he is the fastest kid in the state of Iowa at state track, is their running back, and he's just a junior. They've got all kinds of speed. Xavier Williams, you got Jacob Smith, who is the 400-meter hurdles champion. Just like you, it's the most grueling event in track. But, man, you can just go down the line. They've got a lot of speed.
A lot of speed, and put it together, you look pretty decent size up front as well. They've got a couple guys 230, 260, so they've got some beef that can match up, and if they can open just a little bit of a hole and get those guys down the field, look out. It's going to be key for our defense to really play assignments here tonight.
You do, and you got to wrap up quick. When you make first contact, you got to wrap up. If you make that first wrap and you can slow them down, so everybody has a party at the football on defense. That's what you want to have, a party at the football. Wherever it's going, everybody trail, get right to the ball. First guy, slow him down or take him down. Everybody else, but if they bounce, you're in trouble because there's just not many teams are going to be able to keep up with that speed. We keep coming back to that, I do. So your keys, stick to your keys, make them run horizontally, and you got a shot. If you go back and watch the film, they won their first 2 games, 49-14 the first week, 35-14 the second week. The times where they struggle is when the back get blocked up in the middle by the defenders, and you got to run this way instead of running this way. When you're running with the line, defense has got a really good chance, and they could take advantage of that. And I think West Branch has got some really good teams put together in practice this week. They're going to try to neutralize that speed as much as they can.
Well, and offensively, that offensive line with 4 new starters has really started to come together, but they're going to be tested with that speed on the defensive side. Really need to make sure that they communicate. Everybody knows where the play's going and who's going to be putting a hat on who.
Agreed. And you talked about it, the size. Up front, there are very few teams that are going to be able to match up size, helmet-on-helmet size-wise with West Branch. This is one of them. They got a kid. You didn't even mention a kid's. Is it Clarence or something? I think it's Clarence Williams. Is 6'2", 295, starts both ways, and they got they average 263 pounds across their offensive line, and on defensive line they average 275. Then they have all that speed to bring it on the outside. The middle linebacker is the Trousel kid. With that speed he's going to be able to fill. But I think if these guys continue to gel, keep those keys, if they continue to make the right blocks, make the right calls on the line of scrimmage, Ryan Grosvenor and anybody else, the leaders up front need to be really vocal this week, Stephen. You know that as an offensive lineman, I said it the first week, that you got to really communicate, stick with those keys, and you can have some success.
Well, you look on paper, and this West Burlington team has almost 800 yards of rushing. That's the same amount of total offense that we have as a unit. And so it's really going to be key for us to slow them down offensively and be able to do some things when we have the ball to take some time off and get points every opportunity we have.
You do. For West Branch, obviously you want to be a big play offense. You'd love it. Big plays are great, and the Bears can have, as evidence in the last game, first play of the game, 71-yard run. Luke kicks it outside, and he's gone down this sideline right behind us for 71 yards. But if they can get 4 yards in a cloud of dust every 3 downs, that's a first down, and you're going to take off. Well, not out that clock, but the one in Burlington, I'm sure, has the same mechanism. It runs for 12 minutes. If you can run 7, 8, 9 minutes off a drive, just wears a team out, not just physically, but from a mental standpoint. You can really do some numbers on a team. If you get a drive, Bears get it, go out, score first. They get the. I always joke about it. You say you get the flip, you get the toss. We want to score first. We don't say we're going on it. We want to receive. We want to score first. They go score, and then get a 3 and out. You never know what can happen. It can be a domino of things, and it can go either way.
It's a funny game, this game of football is. So 7 o'clock, I think, the pregame. 7:30 is the kickoff down at West Burlington. And Mike and I will have the call, and you'll be along for the ride and feeding us some great information. We're looking forward to it.
I can't wait. It's going to be it's no offense to those other 2 teams, but this is the marquee game on the schedule thus far. I mean, you go by rankings by the Des Moines Register. Both of these teams are ranked 3rd in their respective class. So this is the marquee game according to the Des Moines Register in the entire state of Iowa this week. So
1A versus 2A. It'll be a good one, and we'll have all the action for you. Join us right here, westbranchfootball.com.